right. All right, people, if you're already here, you know the deal. About to get started. All right, people, just bear with us. We're getting started, and then let the fireworks commence.
Let's get it.
All right. Into features. All right, just wait for a few more people to come in, and then we will actually get started. Make sure that wherever you're watching from, you go ahead, you say what's up in the comment section. Of course, love you guys, so we're gonna make sure that we go ahead and interact, and you can talk whatever trash you like. Completely up to you. But yeah, we are. All right. Give about one more minute, and then we are going to commence. All right, all right, so we are going to go ahead and get started, and we'll be right back in a moment after this intro.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got well.
All right, people, and we are back at the You Don't Know Jack podcast, where we're coming to you with everything Colts related and some other stuff for some other teams that, just really don't care that much about. But you know what? We're going to be as unbiased as we possibly can be. But then again, this is a Colts related podcast, so that's probably not going to happen. So, with that being said, we are the crew. You don't know Jack, and of course, without these esteemed gentlemen, these great fellows, there would be no podcast. There would be no this. Okay, so we're gonna get to everybody, starting with we'll go. I think we'll go in name order today, starting with the man who has a junior. Henceforth, the reason why he refers to himself as Josh Senior. I don't even know his last name. But you know what? That's fine. Oh no, I do. But you know what? I'm not going to say that because you know
Man,
what? We're broadcasting live.
we've been friends for how long? And you said just on
I
air that you don't know
do.
my last name.
I do know the last name. I'm just so used to just seeing Josh and then Senior. Like there's no in between. Like I really do believe that your last name is like truly your middle name, and your last name is really Senior.
No, this is not no matter real piece. No,
Okay. We have Josh
it
Senior, everybody.
was good, man. It was good.
All right. And so we also have with us Mr. And you know what? Austin has always been the guy that's always been like super quiet, just like don't really say nothing. But in them comment sections, I'm telling you, I've never been so surprised yet just proud and been made proud. But I'm just like, man, what he doesn't display in verbal communication, he definitely is very loud in his comment communication, and I love it. I appreciate you for it. Austin Cook, everybody.
Yes.
What's up?
I know that caught you off guard. That's a good thing. Okay, we're gonna have to get used to that. Okay, leading up to that wedding, we're gonna have to go ahead and just gonna we say those vows. You're gonna have to be up and out, man. I got you. All right,
All right.
and then last but not least, it's just me, Chris Jackson. Just like I said, focus on these other guys because these guys love these guys. All right, and they're gonna no doubt they're going to help bring the energy, which just also happens to be the title of today's podcast. Now, this is also the fourth and final part of our scheduled release, but this is actually also going to be some surprising news. Normally this time of year, football can get a little bit only because there's literally nothing happening. I mean, maybe like a signing here and there. I think we signed like Brian Cox Jr. He formerly played on the Bears, like a good depth signing. But
Yeah.
we actually heard some news last few days that kind of got the fan base talking a little bit.
Are
And
you talking about? Are you talking about the news of AJ saying he's the best receiver in Titans history?
I like what you did there. I like what you did there. So you know what? Here's what I am going to say. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this like very loudly. AJ Brown in 3 years, not even playing 3 full years, ranks top 20 all time in receptions, yardage, and touchdowns. So I mean, in not even 3 full years, in 3 years, he he's top 20 already. I mean, if we're really going according to that, I mean, I know Derek Mason had something to say. Where Derek Mason, I mean, he was a great wide receiver, but I don't think there's any denying that AJ, if let's just say he had stayed maybe an additional 3 4 years, he probably could have had. I'm gonna say probably a few of those records if he's already top 20 for all wide receivers over Titans history.
Right.
So I mean, I see where he's coming from. I mean, I feel like it was definitely a little bit premature to say like if he said I was already on pace to be the best wide receiver in Titans history, then I'm just like, okay, I understand that. But it's just like to say I was the best receiver in Titans history already, it's like I get it, but you know what? I'm gonna let Titans fans kind of have to simmer over that because they still haven't recovered. But to each their own.
I
oh,
had to bring
oh,
it. I had to bring that in there.
I'm completely fine with that. And before we get to this surprising news, we have John Ha. He says Matt Ryan 2022 MVP because that's his guy. Okay, and he said AJ was the best in Titans history. You know what? When John Ha says it, as I'm going to say one of my favorite Titans fans, I absolutely believe it. I believe it.
Well,
So
he's the most hated fan in his own fan base.
he's the most hated fan, but he's also probably the most realistic one out of all of them.
He's
So yeah, but the news that we were talking about, it was a discussion between Pat McAfee, Darius Butler on the Pat McAfee show, and they said Terry McLaurin, with the issues that he's having, they could see a trade. There could potentially be some steam of him potentially coming to Indy.
yeah. We're
So,
reading that too.
yeah. So, with that being said, Austin, what is your take on this? Because it's surprising, but at the same time, you look at it, you're just like, there could be a chance.
Yeah, I think there definitely could be a chance. He's from Indianapolis. He was a Colts fan growing up. He liked Reggie Wayne's video he put out today. And I think we can afford him.
Yeah.
I think there's a solid chance that he comes. I don't mean it might not happen, but I think there is a chance.
Okay. And what about you, Josh?
Yeah, same thing that you guys were seeing. He's just been showing Colts fans and media attention. He's showing us that he's interested in coming back home. They show tweets from 2014 or something like that of him watching the game or saying something about Reggie Wayne, in reference to Reggie Wayne, and he's like I said, he's giving us the rumors that we've been. He's showing light to the rumors that we've been seeing, and it could happen. For the 4 part, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his asking price is. I know that Darius Butler said his asking price, or he could command between south to what AJ is making, which he's making 25 a year. I don't know if they're offer him that or commit to that, knowing that they got in the next 2-3 years, they got to sign their core guys that are already on the team, and Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, Nelson. Can't forget Nelson, Bobby Okereke or Kureke. Contract
Bobby
is
O. Bobby O.
yeah, Bobby O. Since he don't like Okereke, his contract is up. So I mean, we got contracts that we had to we got players we have to resign. So I don't know where he fit into that.
But also,
Okay.
sorry.
You go ahead.
Apparently, Ballard did check in on him. He was willing to give up money and draft picks, but they didn't want to move him. But now that they're so far apart, it seems like that's what the media is saying. They're so far apart, not close in contract extension. They might be more open to move him than just lose him for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, at this point, you know that that's a player that you potentially, you need, but if he doesn't decide to stay with the team, you end up losing him anyway. I mean, yeah, you can try to franchise tag him, but I mean, I don't think that that's going to be something that they'll necessarily do. And it's not like they have an extension. He was a second round pick, which means that this is literally the final year of his contract. So, I mean, it would make more sense to go and send some assets over. I mean, honestly, I don't see if our season is successful, I mean, what position do you really see that we would need to absolutely draft in the first round if everything goes the way that it's supposed to? Like, I think this year was a little bit tougher, but I mean, seeing how the team is now, seeing how it rounded out, what will we actually need?
I mean, I don't think we're very deep at wide receiver in proven people. And if we
Yeah.
get him, he's young still.
Oh yeah.
So like if
Yeah.
we had to use a first rounder, it's not like we're losing like anything we need.
Yeah.
Well,
And
how would that work out? okay, let's say that does happen, and then of course we extend his contract, whatever a year. I'm better good at negotiating. He can probably bring his offer down from, if he's offering or wanting 20 million, he can knock it down to maybe 16, 17, 18 a year. Uh, how would that work on top of Pittman? Country, they both second round picks.
Okay, so here's the deal as far as that goes though, because the thing is, they're about a year apart. So the
Yeah,
thing is, Terry McLaurin, where he is right now, let's just say it's just like because we saw AJ didn't go there for 25 million. Matter of fact, it's just like I think after after incentives, I think he was barely at 22.
yeah,
Now, interesting part of this is the fact that with having Terry McLaurin being traded, if he's traded in this new league year, Washington's already on the hook for the money they would have had to pay him this year anyway. So that means that if we get him, Washington is footing that bill, and then all we're doing is just setting up the extension for next year, potentially with a bonus to be paid this year. But over the next 3 years, or over the next 2 years, team salary cap this year is $212 million, right? Or
mhm,
213 million because like 212, 897, 726. Okay, that's fine. The cap for the 2023-2024 season goes up to 225 million. All right. But then the interesting part of that is in 2024, the team salary cap goes up to 256 million.
It just keeps going up. I don't like the
Yeah,
cap's not even real.
it's the thing is it's real, but there's ways to manipulate it. And the thing is, the way that you manipulate it is that owners use their own money. So that's the reason why it's just like that's like something that's a little bit more important because that's the reason why like the Rams owner is just like he's rich. Like he's absolutely rich. So the thing is he can manipulate those numbers. So the thing is in between now from now to 2 years from now, there's going to be an increase of $44 million in cap. So the thing is, any type of trade that would potentially be made for Scary Terry ends up being something that would probably kick in next year, and that'll be the first part of that deal. And that means that like I said, it's just like that'll probably be close in terms of numbers, but it's not going to be anywhere near where we would have any type of other issues. So I think financially, it absolutely could work out. I mean, it would have been. I'm going to say it would have been better if Washington would have traded him before the new league year started, because that means that they wouldn't have been on the hook for any money if they were going to potentially trade him.
So I'm gonna revisit what I said the other day. Would you be okay with trading Mr. Kenny? Mr. Kenny. Not I don't want him. I don't want him to be traded, but his contract. He's looking for a contract as well, and it could fit what Washington want for us. A secondary, and what he's want for us maybe more 6 more million. Again, I'm not advocating the trade, but who says no to a Kenny Moore and Terry trade and add a pick to it?
So I'm going to say Terry's not the one that I'm going to say Kenny's not the one that will be traded. Because the one thing that I'm going to say is just like that is more reassuring than getting more money is the reassurance that you'll have the chance to prove on a team that's stacked that could potentially
Mhm.
end up loaded. Where this team, you could trade Kenny for Terry, but you could also trade a first round pick for Terry, the same way you traded a first round pick for DeForest Buckner, and that immediately increased the productivity of the defense. Trading for somebody like Terry, I think, is going to immediately do the exact same thing, but on the offensive side, especially when you have somebody like Matt Ryan, who has averaged one good offensive player every single year
Right.
ever since they went to the Super Bowl. And now you're stacked in the backfield. You're stacked at wide receiver core if you get Terry McLaurin. The O line is now back to where it semi should be, since Costanzo was there. So now what are you doing? Now it's just like you're able to kind of sell people on going ahead and saying, listen, work through this. Go ahead and prove your mettle this year, and then we'll work on that next year. Because I'm telling you, the very next deal that gets done is going to be Quentin Nelson. Point blank. Period.
It has to be first. It has to be first. It has to be the
Yeah.
first deal, and he's going to command a whole lot, probably all
Well,
of it.
yeah. So the thing is, he absolutely can command a lot of money, but I can once again see him just going and just being on a deal right now where, yeah, it's just like he's going to probably get upwards of maybe around like 16 mil a year, probably over like 5 years. And then probably after incentives, it ends up being like a 5 year, like $95 million deal. But the thing is, like I said, it's just like if you're averaging at 16 mil a year, that means that with those incentives, and mind you, he has one sack. He's averaging one sack per year, and that's it. So the thing is, if you're literally at that exact same, if you're on that exact same level for as long as he's been, you literally have
Hmm.
nothing to worry about. Like he's going to absolutely go and hit every single mark to get that extra money. I think now it's just like we're going to start seeing that a lot of these teams start going with things that might be a little bit more incentive based as opposed to just paying just outright guaranteed money up front. Because the guaranteed money is generally reserved for the quarterbacks.
True. It can
Mhm.
work. It can work.
So
Yeah, restructure contracts as well. You can do that as well. There's plenty of ways.
exactly. And like I said, it's just like the cap is going to increase substantially in between now and 2024 to the tune of 44 million. So that means that that's going to give that much more leeway. So just then generally see like a lot of these extensions probably kicking in that next year or the following year, or even like dealing with Kenny's numbers. Kenny could potentially be looking at something that is going to kick in the following year, but then that means that he's going to end up having that much more money. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But moving from one great receiver to a future Hall of Fame receiver, Reggie Wayne has been catching a lot of eyes, but from very good things. I mean, we see that he's been in practices. We see the clips. What's been the biggest thing that has stood out to you? And I'll start with you, Josh. What's been the biggest thing that stood out to you, seeing his interactions with the wide receivers and seeing what you've seen with
Uh, the thing that stood out was energy, as the title of the podcast. He's bringing energy. He's bringing veteran leadership. He's bringing coaching. He's bringing a good feel of a guy that played the position. He actually played the position. He won a Super Bowl, and he knows what it takes. He knows it takes to be in the best position to succeed. He knows the grinding. He's grinding in those these camps. He done those drills. So he know what it takes to get those drills. He knows it's 80, 90 degrees. He knows that he knows that the wear and tear it is, but he's pushing those guys every single day in practice. He's one, like I said, we talked about it before we got on air. He's coaching up Ashton Doolin, Desmond Patman, Michael Strong, all of them, Alex Pierce. He's coaching them up. I mean, even Paris Campbell. I mean, he could have a good year. I don't want to say 1,000 season, but he could have a good he could have a good season. Probably his best season in the 3 years he's been in the league. But he's
him.
coaching them up. He know these guys is hungry. I mean, the guys are seeing that that they're being counted out, they're being doubted around the league. So he's aware of that. I mean, and he's coaching up Matt Ryan. I mean, he is everywhere. He's across the field. He's bringing the energy that we need, that we haven't had in at that position, coaching position, and I don't know when. And
Hmm.
it's exciting to see that he's enjoying the position, because he at
Yep.
first he denied it. He denied it for so many years, and he finally said okay, and now he's coaching it like he's actually playing. The guy could probably put on pads and still run around right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're seeing that, and we're seeing exactly how he is. But what Austin, like there's like I said, there's been a few different things, but it's just like what has been I'm gonna say the biggest takeaway that you've seen in his interactions with not just the entire team, but it's just like just the wide receivers as a whole.
Yeah, I really like how he's going like individual people. Like he's telling them individually what they need to work on. Like we saw in the thing that he tweeted out today, like talking up Alec Pierce about his hands, like keeping them high.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just knows the position. He played it for like a long time. He played it very
Mm-hmm.
well, so he knows it very well. And he's just, I think he's the perfect wide receiver coach.
Yeah,
Like especially for us, uh, we got a lot of young guys, and I think that they'll take the next step with him leading them.
yeah, and it's I from what I've been seeing, it's I think the biggest thing that we've seen is he's bringing like three different elements, right? He's bringing energy, like we said. He's also bringing accountability,
Yes.
and then he's really just giving them, I'm gonna say, just a technique. Like we see that these guys have been talented for years, but the thing is, it's like everybody's just kind of been kind of raw, you know. And the thing is now it's just like talking to Michael Pittman about making sure that he's digging on those routes where it's just like it's those quick cutbacks, or talking to Alec Pierce about him making sure that he's keeping his hands high when he's trying to get off of press or just like get out of coverage. Being able to, you know, have fun and being able to talk to those guys and coach them up, but then at the same time making sure that, everybody understands their assignments. On top of the fact that you do have a veteran leader like Matt Ryan who can come in and immediately just go and say, yes, just make sure like this is where you are. It's just like there's not going to be any room for error. Like you're going to have to just go ahead and get with it. And the only person I think in that wide receiver core that's going to be able to get any amount of leeway, but still probably won't, is going to be Alec Pierce because he's a rookie. Everybody
Right.
who's been in this system is either in year 2 or year 3 or potentially I think year 4 for Paris Campbell. So I mean, if you have these guys and you have everybody incrementally just going and being in this system and then learning this year, it's just like you have no excuse. There's no excuse to not be able to go ahead and just pick up on these cues, especially when you have one of the best in the business in terms of a technical wide receiver, in terms of somebody who was never the fastest, but always had great hands, was always able to run those routes. Not to mention the fact that you played with Peyton Manning. So the thing is, it's just
Correct.
like you understand like things like timing are so underrated when we're talking about that. So I think it's going to be a lot of difference when it comes down to what we're going to be seeing. But the biggest question is going to be, and like I said, I'll ask Austin: is Reggie Wayne going to be able to take this wide receiver core to the next level?
I think so. I think he showed already that he knows how to take to show how these young guys what they need to do. Sorry,
Oh no,
to make it to the next level. I think we'll see improvements out of everybody that gets on the field than what we saw last season.
yeah, a lot better than what we saw last season. I mean, like I said, Michael Pittman Jr. was number 1 in receiving, and then the next person after him was Jonathan Taylor. So
It's sad.
yeah, I don't foresee that. But how about you, Josh? Is Reggie Wayne going to be able to take these wide receivers to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, one guy we forgot to mention was Naeem Hines. He
Yes,
he's
Raheem Hines. Yeah,
he's coaching him up, even though Naeem was a receiver in college, but he's been a running back ever since he's been in the league. But going back to that position where he hadn't played in X amount of years, Reggie Wayne is coaching him up. So he's going to be very vital in that offense. This offense is going to be very potent. This is going to be a nasty, nasty offense. But for us taking them to the next level, definitely. He's going to definitely take them to the next level because, like you said, Pittman took a step forward after having a down year first year. This is, I wouldn't say breakout year because last year was a breakout year. Would I say have a better year than he did last year? That's a possibility. That's
Yeah.
a huge possibility because now you see we have that other coach that, like I said, played the position. There's going to be a Hall of Fame. Uh, knows he's a route technician, and so he can be able to coach those guys up, like Allen Pierce, like Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman.
Hmm.
Like I said, they both run it. They're both similar in their receiver styles. Just Pittman just taller.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Pittman maybe is faster as well too. So, yeah, they definitely can take the next level. I see this. I see this being taking a step forward than they did the previous years.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to say I'm going to be with you on that one. I think absolutely. It's just like some having somebody who has seen the game not just on the outside but also has seen the game on the field. I think it's going to make a world of difference, especially when you're going to be able to see in game. You know, he's able to analyze. He's played against some fantastic, like I said, defenses in terms of cornerbacks that he's played against. I mean, it's just like he's played against guys who are, I mean, he's played against the Champ Baileys, he played against Darrell Revises, he's played against those guys, and
Tyler,
now, and yeah, Ty Law, like he's played against those guys that have been deemed some of the all-time greatest. And so being able to go ahead and see those things, it's just like if he sees that defenses are going a certain way, he'll be able to go ahead and speak to them, just be like, look for the shallow route. If you see that he's coming up to press, it's just like you can go ahead and just fake, and it's going to be different perspectives, but it's not just what he's going to bring to them in terms of practice, it's what he's going to be able to bring to them in actual games and really just be able to teach them how to make those changes on the fly. So I think that's probably going to be one of the most underrated aspects of his presence on the team. But either way, I love it. I love how it's going. So yeah. So I think we're all in agreement there. And so moving on, this is the fourth and final part of our schedule release. And just
yes,
quick update, I have us 10-1-1 up to week 12. Week 12 being the last week we played. Austin has us 9-3. Josh has us 9-3. I'm not a homer. I just think of things analytically. Okay? If you think I'm a homer, mind your business. You're thinking too much. All right? But getting started, week 13 on the road at Dallas. So, big departures. Amari Cooper shipped off to the Browns for a bag of roasted salty peanuts. And I think it's just they picked up a couple guys, but this
it's
Dallas
the
team,
same
I
team.
don't
Yeah,
know. It doesn't. It's not. Dallas isn't a scary team to me. Everybody raves about Trayvon Diggs. I feel like he's as good as he is bad. Like, yeah, had the most picks last year, but he also gave up the most receiving yards last year.
he take risk. That's what
Yeah,
he just.
he is the defensive version of Jameis Winston back when he was in Tampa Bay. Like,
Right.
yeah, you're going to get 4 touchdowns out of him. He's also going to throw 4 interceptions. And depending on where he is in the game, that could potentially either give the game away or is the most clutch pass ever.
Right.
So going up against Dallas, now mind you, the last time that we faced Dallas, that was Lux last year playing, we beat them 23-0. Of course, this team looks a little bit different times. What do we see in terms of week 13 at Dallas? And then we'll start with you, Austin.
So, like you said, Amari Cooper's gone. So, pretty much, CD Lamb is going to be their number one. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Michael Gallup should be their number one. CD should be the number one, but I don't think he's a great number one receiver. I do think he's a good receiver, but I feel like he needs to be paired with somebody like Amari Cooper. Um,
Okay.
and then Ezekiel Elliott, I don't think he's been the best running back on that team for the past 2 years. I think Tony Pollard's
Tony
better.
Pollard.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think they're a great team. I think they're a good team. I think we win this game. Uh, Like I said, I think they need another receiver other than just CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Josh?
Uh, it's hard. I mean, we did smack them in 2018, and I was there. I watched it live, and I'll be in attendance in this one as well. Um, they got a running back. We got a run defense that we can slow down both Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. They have a nice, receiver core. Michael Gallup haven't been healthy, but they chose to re-sign him and ship out Mark Cooper. CeeDee Lamb is pretty good. Number one. I would say, he has to be number one. But we got a number one corner, so they kind of balance out. So it kind of forces their tight end, and it forces the other two receivers that I have, or slew of receivers they have, to step up. On defense, like you said, that defense they're not the best run. They're not really good at stopping the run. They got Michael Parsons. He's really good. Michael Parsons is really good. I want to give him his credit. And D-Law's pretty good too. Not really been the best pass rusher, but he can stop. He's decent on the edge. And like we said with Diggs, he's going to take those. He's going to take this opportunity. He's going to take. He's very. He's very risky. He's going to give up a lot of plays. So with that being said, in a close game, I got us winning in a close game. I don't think we'll blow them out again. I think it could be a 20-17 game going our way.
All right. Yeah, I don't see the Cowboys having improved much from not necessarily when we played them in 2018, because of course it's a different team from then. But I mean, you have guys like Leighton Vander Esch, who doesn't play that much. Micah Parsons is good. That D line doesn't really scare me. I mean, defensively, I don't see Dallas being a threat. Offensively, if Ezekiel Elliott is playing well and CeeDee Lamb is showing me something other than what we've seen, yeah, you could potentially end up having having a really good game. But I mean, I could see 28-17 versus Cowboys. Like, I don't. They don't necessarily strike fear in my heart. Like, I don't see it. But that's just my opinion. So, and then what about you, Austin? What do you see the score being?
I had 38-31.
Oh, okay.
High scoring. Not bad.
All right, and then
I also
week
want
14.
to say,
Go ahead.
I do think CeeDee Lamb is a good wide receiver. I just think right now he needs someone else.
Yeah, like I don't see him being good by himself. I see, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, I think, benefited from having Amari Cooper on the field, because you knew what Amari Cooper was doing. Like, the thing is now, CeeDee Lamb is going to be seeing all those number one cornerbacks. He's going to see some of those double teams, because of the fact that a lot of these teams, with the way that the Cowboys are set up, it's just like they're going to have the opportunity to be able to double team him and still be able to play pretty sound defense.
Right.
Somebody like the Eagles, who the Eagles had Darius Slay, but then they just got James Bradbury. So the thing is, Darius Slay is going to be able to just play CeeDee Lamb one-on-one and be just fine. But
right.
That's where we are. And then also, we don't know when Gallup is coming back either, because remember, Gallup is still recovering from that torn ACL.
Yeah,
That's true. I guess I still got it in a close game because Dallas play a lot better at home than they do away. So that's a different factor as well. They're playing they're in Jerry's house, so they play a little bit better. It's like the role players play a little better. You may see a couple of plays that you wouldn't see in Indy. So I got it in a close win.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And that's fair. Week 14 is, of course, the bye, because the schedule makers hate us and they want us to have our bye as late as possible. So, respectfully, the schedule makers can stub their toe on a corner while stepping on a Lego barefoot
Ooh, ouch.
because they are evil, evil people. So with that being said, Week 15 at Minnesota. Played Minnesota not this past year, but the year before last. Um, I don't think Minnesota improved much either. I
They're getting
mean, I think
coaching.
it's just like it's just like I think it's a new coach, but I think that's probably it. I mean, it's just like you still have Dalvin Cook, you still have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, I think you have Irv Smith. Defensively, I think it's everything's pretty much the same with Minnesota. I think they drafted
Yeah.
some guys, but I think the only substantial thing that they did was pay Kirk Cousins more money in the offseason.
Yeah, they did that. They
So
did.
that's yeah. And honestly, it's just like defensively, defense was the name of the game the last time that we played them,
Hmm.
and I think that's going to be the name of the game once again. Because Justin Jefferson, it was in his rookie year, but I mean his rookie year he went off for 1,400 yards anyway.
Yeah,
But
still
I
did
mean
good.
in that game, it's just like we didn't really see much from him. I think until maybe like late in the game.
It was already over.
Yeah. So me personally, I'm gonna say it's just like I could see this being a 20-3 outing.
Ooh, man.
What about you, Josh?
I got us losing this game.
What?
That's like one of those games where you try to you focus ahead. The next opponent is going to be a tough opponent, so we look ahead and we think that this game is in the bag. And this we dropped this one. Like we always say about those games where what we say trap game.
Yeah.
So I haven't had a trap game yet. Every game that we played, one I think maybe was Cook. Either way, maybe the Tennessee game, but this game here, I'm not happy about it. These games where we may overlook it and see that talent on defense not up to par, but they do have nice weapons. They do have two receivers that are really good. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson is really good. So I see. I'm not. I see us losing this game. I don't think, and it could be a field goal or win by 6. Minnesota. This game here,
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with this game. I think we look ahead and look at the matchup. And by then, the division already wrapped up, so it's not like we're gonna just win every game after winning the division. There's gonna be some games you drop
Okay.
in the process, and that could be this game. This game here. Trying
Excuse me.
look ahead to the Chargers. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
You okay?
All right. Then what about you, Austin?
Yeah. So you mentioned Cousins. I don't think Cousins is that good. I don't think he's terrible, but I just don't love him as a starting quarterback. Um, so pretty much I got our defense needs to step up this game, stop the run. They got 2 good running backs in Cook and Madison, and then
Yes.
stop Justin Jefferson. Like Adam Thielen's good, but if we can stop those 2 running backs and Justin Jefferson, we'll be fine. I got us winning this game 41-24.
Ooh,
Uh,
high scoring affair.
yeah, I got a lot of high scores. I noticed as I was making it, I was like, dang, I think we're
Not
gonna
that.
have a high scoring offense this season.
Hey, listen, I'm down. I'm down. I see it. All right. Next we have the LA Chargers at home. Like
Yes.
this is going to be. I'm going to say this is probably going to be absolute prime time because as always the Chargers are projected to be fantastic, be great, and they're projecting us to also be similar. I'm going to say towards the end of the year. What do you have here, Austin? I'm curious.
All right, so I think Justin Herbert's going to be a top 3 quarterback this season. They got a good wide receiver duo in Allen and Williams.
Yes.
And their defense got even better. I have us losing this game. I do think it's going to be a good game. I got us losing by 3, 31-28. I mean, it's set up to be a good game. Like both teams have good defenses. Both teams have people on offense that can make plays. It should be a primetime game.
Okay. All right. And before we get to Josh, we had Clyde just commented. Well, John Hogg commented and said, "I'm proud of it with being the most realistic Titans fan that we've encountered." And then we had Clyde said, "I don't think they brought back Anthony Barr, did they?" And after some research, I see that from what I understand, I believe Anthony Barr is still on the team. So I do believe that Anthony Barr is still on the Vikings.
That's pretty huge. He's a nice, good
Oh wait,
linebacker.
hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Oh no. Matter of fact, no. He is still a free agent,
Okay.
but it looks like he still hasn't signed anywhere. So yeah, so it looks like he's currently not with the Minnesota Vikings, but I can see they probably would go ahead and maybe just re-sign him later on if for some reason they have issues as far as I'm going to say injuries or personnel issues. So yeah, you're right. It's just like they lost Anthony Barr as well. So you know what? Scrap 20-3. Okay, 31-3. All right. Let's just go ahead and do that. Thank you for that, Clyde. Now I'm even more confident that we will go in there and we will trounce those Bama's. All right. So let's just go ahead and handle that. All right. Now back to the Chargers. All right. What about you, Josh?
Man, we saw what they added. On top they added, J.C. Jackson from the Chargers. They already had Derwin James. They already got Bosa. They traded for the linebacker and Khalil Mack, to go against the other side of Bosa. This is scary. This is really, really scary. I'm probably gonna be outside of Broncos. Probably gonna be our the worst matchup to go against for us defense wise. This is a tough one. Like Austin said, offense they got Williams and they got Allen. Then they get I forgot what the tight end they got. What tight end did they get? They got somebody. Didn't they get the tight end from the Bengals?
No, I think the Jets did. The Jets got Uzoma.
Okay. I thought he got him. That would have been even scary,
I
dangerous.
don't know who their tight end is. Austin
I
Eckler is
No,
also really good.
wait. I forgot. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and look it up. That's a great question. Because I know
But yeah,
that they got Khalil Mack, they got J.C. Jackson. Um, yeah, I think they might have drafted a tight end. I'm not sure.
but yeah, either way, like you said, having a top five quarterback and Justin, um, I think our defense is won't be able to stand it. We can play against anybody, but that's probably going to be one of our top quarterbacks outside of Mahomes that we face. That's can put a lot of points up, and
Yeah.
I got us losing this game. I got us losing this game. Back to back losses.
Okay. So I am going to say, Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett. He was formerly with the Rams before, I believe. That's
Rams,
what
yeah.
Clyde just
Then
said.
yes. That's
And then
that's
he
decent.
said, JT will terrorize and talk about the Vikings again. So I'm going to say this game looks like at first it will probably be a defensive struggle, maybe for the first quarter. And I think then both teams will kind of just like pick up accordingly. I can see this game going to overtime, but we end up losing in overtime 41-35.
Okay.
I think it's the thing about the Chargers is that they kind of play similarly to how we can tend to play sometimes, at least in the beginning of the season, even though it's later in the season, where we just start off slow. Like we start off flat, and then once we go ahead and catch a little bit of steam, then it's full steam ahead. But the thing is, sometimes that puts us in a rut. But the thing is, kind of bouncing those two things off of each other, I think it's going to I'm going to say make a difference. I mean, I think Khalil Mack is an absolute beast, but I think also, you know, I think he's kind of trailed off a little bit. I mean,
He
he's still a beast,
he
but I
needs to
just
stay healthy.
yeah, and I think that's
Yeah.
another reason why it's just like he's maybe not been the force that he was, 3, 4 years ago. But like I said, I still think it's going to be tough, especially with the fact that, you have those guys. You have, they just re signed Mike Williams. You still have Keenan Allen. And then on top of that, you have Austin Eckler still, who, when healthy, is probably he's a guy who can both run and he can catch out the backfield also.
Yeah, he's a threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Top
mean
10 running
that's
back.
gonna be tough, but I think it's just like that one's gonna come down to 41-35. And I think that's just going to be a go ahead pass, maybe to possibly to Austin Eckler. But like I said,
Yeah,
I think
that's our kryptonite.
yeah, and I think our last game ended with, I think that was with a pass to Eckler as well. So in fitting fashion, we would go ahead and lose that one. So
But
all right, so we all chalked that up as a loss. Next
we'll
game, week
also
7.
we'll,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, we'll lose this one, but we'll beat them in the AFC Championship and then go to the Super Bowl. So
Oh yeah, the
it,
AFC champ. Oh,
it don't even matter.
Oh,
ooh,
okay. Yeah,
okay.
that I felt like Red Fox for a second. You hear that,
Oh,
Elizabeth?
oh my chest. Oh
My
Lord,
chest.
oh my
Woo.
chest.
See, that's what you talk about. For us, he hit a. See, he's very quiet, but he pack a
I'm
punch.
telling you, it's just like he just like, out of nowhere just. Ugh. But all right, Austin says we'll see him in the AFC Championship. Let's go from there. All right, next one is a team that will probably not be in anybody's championship. The New York Giants, and we're going to be at the Meadowlands. Now, mind you, um, we've beat this team consistently in the last, I believe it is, I want to say last 4 meetings.
Yeah.
So that would be, and as a matter of fact, I think it's probably more than that. I just know this because I have a buddy of mine. A buddy of mine is a Giants fan, and we've been doing this whole, back and forth series, and I think we bet on it, and he's lost all of them. So, we've he still has never learned, but I I don't care because I'll keep winning. But either way, versus the Giants, Daniel Jones, his option was not picked up. So I mean, this is a prove it year for him. They also signed Tyrod Taylor. Saquon is going to be back. He's heard the talk about him potentially being a bust because he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Wide receivers, they have Kenny Galladay and
Derek
whoever the heck
Slayton,
else.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, they got what's his name, Darius Slayton. Um, O line is still a joke. Tight ends, they got rid of Evan Ingram. I don't even know who they have now. Defensively, I mean, honestly, it's just like you could probably give some Care Bears Red Bull and they would be more ferocious than that defense they have over there right now. And they got rid of Bradbury, so that's basically. I mean, this game, if there ever was a trap game, I would say that this was a trap game, but this isn't a trap game. This is. I'm going to say this is the first alley oop. This is the alley oop from Semi Pro with Will Ferrell as Jackie Moon when he threw it up to Andre 3000 and he dunked it for the first time.
Yes.
Like I don't see us not winning this game.
I agree. I do agree.
Yeah. But you know what? Austin might feel differently. How do you feel about that, Austin?
Yeah, I don't think the Giants are there. I don't think they're not really good at any position because Saquon can't stay healthy. I hope he stays healthy, but he
Yeah,
just
so do
hasn't so far. Yeah, I got this. It's a blowout win.
Yeah. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I got us losing this game, man. No, that's not. No,
I was about to say.
no, man. No, no. But everything you guys said, this, like I said, it's a layer. These are the last 2 games that we have in the season where we fumbled bad last year. I don't see that repeating this year. We're not going to just fumble the last two games. Not saying that we need 98%. Not saying that these games will be 98% to get in the playoffs. Because it's not. But we will take this win in New York and come back home and face a rivalry.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not gonna take this team lightly. Last time we did play the Giants, we did struggle with them. We needed I think an overtime play or something happened in like the fourth quarter to win the game. But
Yeah,
this
it was Malik Hooker pick to end the game.
we needed something like a miracle like that. No, this not happening again.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah, because that was the last play of the game, and then I think they were in our red zone, or no, they were in their red zone, and they threw that pick to end the game.
Yeah,
So
this is not happening again. No.
But that was with Eli Manning too. So
Yeah, but he was throwing to but some bombs. So I mean, and they were still a game that we could have looked over, but they played us. They played us pretty good. But you're right. Yeah, played with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now this time we got a guy that's on a expiring deal. He's he's done. They're gonna look for another quarterback.
yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I got us beating them 31-10.
If I can
So
if we can put up 100, I go 100-10.
I said 59-13.
59? Jesus. Oh God.
So you saying that Sam Ellinger is gonna play? That's what you're saying.
No,
Are
let's
you
just put it on.
like are we just gonna score on the first 5 possessions? Like we're gonna get an offensive touchdown on one play, then we're gonna get a pick 6 on their first offensive play, and then just do that for like 5 series? Because
Yeah,
Jesus
might
Christ,
as well.
59-13? That's a lot. Oh my God. But you know what? Absolutely possible. And then finally, to wrap up the regular season, we have versus Houston at home.
Sweet.
All right. And so we had now,
Sweet.
yes. So we have had these games that have just like at the end of the year, they always pair us with division opponent. I guess they're forecasting that they'll be a little bit better this year, but it's better than playing the Jaguars to end the season because I hate when a terrible team just plays a little bit better, when they know that we're coming to town. But now, Josh, where do you have us with this one?
I'm using the same broom that also gonna jump over in this game because we sweeping. We sweeping. This is not. We at home. We're not gonna drop another. We're not dropping the game at home. I don't care who it is. It could be the one is but the New Orleans Breakers. I don't care. We're not losing. Houston Gamblers. I mean, I don't care who it is. We're not. No, it's not. These like you said layups. It's another layup that we just go ahead, get the momentum, win this game, get the momentum, and get ready for a wild card game.
Okay.
No.
What score?
The score with 31, because we keep putting a lot of points on these boys. I would say 31. I would give them 14, 31, because Davis Mills is pretty good. So I'd give him 14 points. I give him 17, 31-17.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. But you, Austin?
Yeah, I don't know why people are talking like Davis Mills is the next big thing. Like, I don't think he's absolutely terrible, but I also don't think he's a good quarterback. And like people have him like he's gonna be the next Peyton Manning, and I don't get it. But I mean, I hope he stays their starter. Yeah, I have us winning this one. In the season, good. It's 38-10.
38-10. Okay. They finish the season 35-14. Yeah, I can definitely see. I think I mean 35-21 only because I do want to give Lovie Smith a little bit more leeway. I think he's a very underrated coach.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's just like I still think that Houston is a team that's kind of still in flux. So
I think
with that,
he might be a gap coach. He might be fired at the season. Um, because like I said, I don't see this team good. I mean I changed mine to 31-20.
okay, all
This
right,
guy
all
went to
right,
the guy went to Super Bowl, so I don't want to just say that he's just a straight bomb and he just this team he's going to coach them up. They're going to be competitive, but it's not going to be enough to get them anywhere. They're going to be still 3 or 4 in the division.
okay, all right, all right. So then, with that being said, I have win at Dallas, win at Minnesota, loss versus Chargers, win against the Giants, and win against Houston. Austin, we have you had at a win at Dallas, correct?
Yeah.
Win at Dallas, win at Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
loss versus the Chargers, win at New York, and then win versus Houston. And Josh, you had
The win against Dallas.
win versus Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Win versus Dallas. So then you had the only loss being against the Chargers, right?
And Minnesota.
Oh, and Minnesota. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So then, with that being said, that means that we're after regular season, and this is actually interesting because none of us got the exact same thing. All right, but before we do that, I'm going to leave y'all in suspense. We're going to go over a few more of these comments. We have Clyde says, I think the tough losses from last year will be the glue that holds this year's team together in tight games. We dropped several we should have won. They will be prepared. CB has a focus on that. And of course, he's speaking to when on the Anvil. And mind you, Clyde is one of, or I'm going to say it's just like he's a key contributor to the Anvil, which is another one in the podcast. Go check them out as well, because like I said, we all love each other here. It's all love. It's all brotherly love. But
Yes, sir.
he said that Chris Ballard said that there's a focus on that from when he did his interview with Chris Ballard. So yeah, that's major. He's also said 59 in New York in January. Austin, we're a dome team. Dome or not, we're still going to play
JT's
the
going
Giants.
off. JT and Naheem Hines, both of them. Give them 200 each.
And I will tell you, the last game I went to in the Meadowlands, and mind you, this was a little while ago, but this was I think it was 2017, 2018, might have been a little bit earlier than that. We played the Jets at the Meadowlands and MetLife Stadium. It was cold and raining. I think we went in November. And we won that game 45 to 17. So, dome team or not, we going to show up to play. Now, are we going to score 59 points? Is it possible? Yes. Are we? Probably not. But it's also good to say that it can absolutely happen. So I'm sticking with Austin on this one. We're aiming for 59. If for some reason we get to 49, then you know what? That's fine. Okay, Vegas
Close enough.
will love it no matter what. All right, both of them. All right, and then lastly, he says, "I agree, Austin. Davis Mills is Chad Pennington at best." Oh God.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? What's that guy that did the Minnesota Miracle?
Oh,
To Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
No, the quarterback.
Quarterback.
He was a backup, of course. He wasn't started. He was backup.
I can't remember. I can't remember it for life of me.
Case Keenum.
Okay, yeah, Case Keenum. Okay.
I got him looking like that. I got him compared. Case he's not a really bad quarterback, just not a really good starter.
Yeah, I think he'd be a solid backup, but I don't know. I just personally don't like him as a starter.
He did decent last year. So, yeah. And then finally, I'll tell you this. I changed Clyde's mind. Because he said Monday night, because it was a Monday night game. He said, I was there, fam. We did, that's facts. Dwayne Allen, blast from the past, had 3 TDs that night. So
Yes,
yes,
Andrew Luck
so
tore it up. Yes.
yeah, Andrew Luck tore it up. I remember because I also remember blast from the past. TJ Green made a play, and I remember that because he came in, and then and I think they had I think Robbie Anderson might have scored a touchdown in that game, but yeah, like it was over early in the game because Dwayne Allen was just going off, and it was Dwayne Allen, so that's how you know it was a while ago.
I was in Houston watching that game.
Yeah, so so as of right now, the record that we have for everybody, I have 14-2-1 on the season. Austin has 13-4. Josh has 12-5. So here's what we can do.
You're a homer.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, we have everything working in our favor. Okay, I think defensively we're going to be better. I think offensively we're going to be a lot better. And the great thing about it is the fact that Jonathan Taylor has established himself as a force, whereas last season you kind of saw like he was picking it up. He was really able to kind of establish that. But I think also at the same time, I think Reich wanted Carson Wentz to be a hero. He wanted him to be the guy that, and he said it numerous times. He said that he wanted him to be the superstar that he knew that he can be. And I feel like that was at the detriment of the team because he just continued to go ahead and give him the ball in situations where he didn't need to have the ball.
I agree.
So I think this team is going to look completely different. Matt Ryan is a guy who can absolutely see the defenses. He's going to be able to go ahead and check out of those plays that he doesn't think are going to work, and he's going to be able to analyze things accordingly. I mean, I'm going to say it's just like this is going to be, I'm going to say just a much different look altogether, which I think is going to work to our advantage. Okay, not to mention the fact that we also have. They're saying that we have a much easier schedule, probably because we play the NFC East. But I mean, this is what we're looking at. All right. So, with that being said, guys, we are now done for this evening. Anybody who sees this, you can go ahead and comment. Comment in everything. You can go ahead and just hit us up on Twitter. You can go ahead and let us know if we're right, if we're wrong, exactly, who do you think will actually be correct in this case? All right. I'm going to say whoever you go with, if at the end of the year it's correct, that person will owe you $50.
Go with one of them two.
I get your Amazon gift card.
Okay, there you go. Okay. I'm not going to say 50, okay? Because, I mean, if we do end up going 14-2-1, I will be happy and mad at the same time. Because all I need is two people. All I need is two people to say, I'm going to go with Chris's prediction, then we go 14-2-1, and I have to pay $100. I don't want to do that.
Just give them a gas card.
First off, a gas card is still going to be extremely expensive, sir. Okay, I am going to let you know. Yeah, I will send them gas. I will send them gas before I give somebody a gas card because I'm not going to willingly have that gas card in hand and then mail it out. I will take that gas card. I will leave the parking lot, go back in the parking lot, and use that said gas card.
That's fair. I would have to.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And then Clyde said, I called 14-3 with losses to the Titans, the Broncos, and the Eagles. Okay, and that's fair. That's fair. All right, so then with that being said, guys, we are now wrapping up. Please, fellas, starting with, well, we started off with Josh, we'll end with Josh. Let the people know where to meet you or exactly where they can see you, comment, talk to you, all that good stuff.
Me?
Who?
Josue.
Okay. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at I am Josh Senior.
Okay. What about you, Austin?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
You're going to have to change that one. All right, and you can find me at CJ Colts Fan Also, you can find us on Twitter at YDKJAC Podcast. You can also find us at YDK JAC Baseball and YDK JAC Basketball. And feel free, if you talk to us about baseball, talk about the Yankees. Talk about that good stuff. If you want to hit up that basketball one, tell Josh Lakers are trash. All right, I'm still in the midst of picking my team. Okay, I think
Hey,
I'm
we
narrowing
didn't
it down.
we didn't trade one of our best assets to the Pacers. Okay, we didn't do that. So
2 words: Russell Westbrook.
hey, I would take him over. Who was your guy again? You don't even remember him.
Who? De'Aaron Fox?
They don't want. That's why they want him somebody else. You guys gonna be in a lottery. You guys. I like Darren Fox, so I got nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I'm not a Kings fan anymore. So the thing is, I'll be deciding on my team soon. Matter of fact, I'll be deciding on my team after the finals. Okay, so I'll be going and seeing exactly where we're going from there. So stay tuned. All right,
You can
and
be a Memphis fan along with RJ.
I am not a Memphis fan, but if Mama RJ likes the Grizzlies, I like the Grizzlies because Mama RJ is a real one.
Yes, he is.
Okay. And then Clyde said, "Hey, great show, fellas. Have a great evening. Keep giving them Titans fans hell in the battle group draft." Well, actually, I'm gonna give it to Austin too because Austin be low key just like roasting them into oblivion, and they don't even know it. All right. So with that being said, everybody have a great evening. Like I said, we will talk to you guys next week, and like I said, hey, listen, you guys stay safe, and yeah, take your vitamins. All right, and we are
Yes.
out. Yes, take your vitamins.
Salute.